We're getting ready to start the show. I'll see you back in about 30. Oh, yeah. Oh, yes. Yes, it's time. Oh, man. Whew. Oh, man. Oh, man. I'm ready. I've been looking forward to this all week. All week. Looking forward to this all week. Funk. Man, how you doing, brother? How you doing, brother? I'm jacked up. Man, I'm jacked up, man. Ready to rock and roll. The one thing I am is slightly behind on the coffee. Give me 1 second. Let me grab my coffee. All right, man. Oh yeah, yeah. You know, Funk. I didn't even mention that in the video. I didn't even mention that both Michigan kids are in state, and I should have. It's actually a great thing for marketing, good thing for franchising. Both those jerseys would sell out in no time. Both those jerseys would sell out in no time. Just some quick announcements here. I'm going to have a show on next Friday. Then before the draft, April 27th, I'm going to do my final mock draft on the 27th. I'll have a video out on the 2nd. That'll be Monday, right after draft for my draft grades. And then no show on the 29th. And then I'll be back May 6th. And then the tentative plan to start breaking down all the NFL teams will be tentative is July 5th. July 5th. And that's some really good money making stuff is July 5th, where I break down the over-unders, the yearly win totals. That's going to be some really good stuff. The draft stuff is a lot of fun. I love doing it. But I'm far from a draft expert. Not a draft expert, but I am a over-under expert. I make a profit every year. Every year. You don't want to miss out. Don't want to miss out. F the local kids. I can deal with Hutch, but I don't want a nickel corner at 32. He's not, okay. It's really funny, man. It's really funny because a lot of people want Hamilton to go to Lions at 2. And the reason why a lot of people want Kyle Hamilton, and I couldn't understand this for the longest time. Then somebody on Twitter said that this is Derwin James. And it finally sunk in my head that people look at Kyle Hamilton as Derwin James, and he's not. The do-it-all type of safety who was an all-pro as a rookie. Dax Hill is the do-it-all safety that Kyle Hamilton, a lot of people feel Kyle Hamilton is. The versatile safety, that's what Dax Hill is. Dax Hill's a safety. He's not a nickel corner. He's a safety, but he can play nickel. He can play strong safety. He can play free safety. All the things that people think Kyle Hamilton can do, Dax Hill actually can do. So if you're somebody who wants Detroit to draft Kyle Hamilton because he's versatile, you really want Dax Hill. Kyle Hamilton's a strong safety. He's not Derwin James. So Dax Hill, and by the way, Dax Hill is, in my eyes, a top 20 player because of all the versatility. There's no way he should be available at 32. But when I do my mock draft, there's about 50 players that I think could go in the first round. So, Yo Dan Slasher, what's up, brother? Man, what's up, brother? Hey, man. I'm jacked up. I literally just slammed energy drink. I got coffee. I am beyond jacked up. I was just saying on my final mock draft is going to come out Wednesday. I'm going to go live. Not next Wednesday in 12 days from now. So very jacked up. I can deal with Hamilton, but he's not my favorite choice to watch Michigan. He's a nickel corner. Hamilton is a box thumper. That's why I'd want him. Every scouting report has him as a safety, and that's technical. Michigan called him, but you saw him a lot as a nickel corner. That versatility is what's going to make him a first round pick. So, I changed my mind. I want a corner in this draft. I think we are going to get your old brother, Honey Badger. I think he's going to go with the Eagles or the Saints. I'm kind of leaning towards the Saints. I think he's going to end up at New Orleans, but if he goes to Philly, it's a great pick. And then at 15, you can get a good corner at 15. Trayvon Walker in my original mock draft is going to Philly at 15. I think when everything's said and done, I don't see a way I can have him sliding that far in the draft. But let's say you get a corner at 15. I still like Nakobe Dean, the Philly at 19. So you can get a corner at 15, get Nakobe Dean at 19. The one thing is, when I look at the Eagles, I currently have them double dipping on defense, but I'll be honest with you, at 15, I'm not 100% sure. When everything's said and done, I go corner. I may change my mind. You could go wide receiver here. I was just reading right before I joined the air. Drake London didn't want to run, and that could hurt. But somebody like Drake London, Treylon Burks is another guy. I'll be honest, Treylon Burks, the Philly at 15, I think makes a lot of sense. I've also seen some mock drafts where great, 8 minutes. I'm drawing a blank on names. No, man, drawing a complete blank. The TCU wide receiver, the former TCU wide receiver. I'm drawing a complete blank on names. Jalen Reagor is on the auction block. So I've heard people say a lot of things, and everyone that is talking about kids publicly is not employed by NFL teams to take away. Yeah. There's a lot of misinformation. In the draft, and that's kind of what you want. You kind of want a lot of misinformation, to be honest with you. I still am leaning towards Detroit trading down at 2 with either Carolina or Atlanta. So. Listen, I want George Pickens in the second round. If he wasn't injured so much, he'd definitely be a day 2 prospect. Let me see here. Well, you pick again at 51. Pickens might be available at 51. Okay. Slasher, give the Lions both first so you can have sauce. Pickens is the guy I like at 34. Pickens is a guy that pretty damn good player. Pickens is a guy, damn good player. Pickens at 34 makes a lot of sense. Pickens at 34 makes a lot of sense. If you watch my Lions video, I made a prediction that you get 34. You'll end up getting my number one running back, Breece Hall. And I could see Breece Hall going to Detroit at 34. So Lions are going Hutchinson or Thibs. I'm leaning towards Hutchinson, but I know that Trayvon Walker made the rounds with all the picks, top 6 teams in the draft, and you may want to consider Trayvon Walker going number 2 to Detroit. So. Slasher, I'm playing the Lions can get out a pick. So, yeah. My boy Mike's in the house, man. Screw your wide receiver for the Chiefs. LOL, I looked back and looked at them. I see your point. You know what's really funny, Mike, is so for those of you who don't know, at 29 and 30, the way my mock draft went, so my number one wide receiver, Treylon Burks, goes to Kansas City at 29, a player who shouldn't be available at 29. And 30 at Logan Hall. It's really funny because I expected lots of people to not like the Logan Hall pick and like Treylon Burks. That's kind of what I was expecting. I expected a lot of people to hate Logan Hall because if you look at 10 mock drafts, just 10 random mock drafts, Logan Hall won't be in any of them in the first round. And I thought a lot of Chiefs fans would really hate that pick. Nobody hates that pick, but a lot of people hate Treylon Burks. And this is a guy that a lot of mock drafts have him, gone way before Kansas City at 29. But I've been getting just the opposite. No, everybody seems to be fine with Logan Hall. A lot of people like the Treylon Burks pick, but Burks' raw athletic potential. It's kind of funny because Corey Coleman, a former number 1 pick that's been out of the league, I think for 2021. I think he's in the league in 2020, but he's been out of football for a little bit. But former first round pick, loved him coming out of Baylor. Is also signed with Kansas City and former first round pick, a lot of talent, could be a lot of fun. Have the Lions actually traded down like ever in the past? Okay, well, first of all, the new regime just took over in 2021. So throw everything the Lions have done out the window, and they're doing something completely different. So you kind of got to look at last year. The new Lions regime, new way of thinking. Brad Holmes and is a different type of guy. John Dorsey, a former general manager. Had a lot of success as a general manager. Liked what he did in Kansas City is when he took over in Kansas City 2013. His very first draft, 3rd round, drafted a guy. It was funny when they drafted this guy. I was like, who the hell is this? And that guy's name was Travis Kelce. So yeah. Funk says Hall's a stud, man, but I think running back is further down the priority list, like day 3. Breece Hall won't last day 3, and this guy's really, really good. This guy is really, really good. So I'm telling you, I think 34 is a great spot for Hall, but Burks conveniently falls against. Yeah, when everything's said and done, when I do my final mock, I don't think I can have Burks going all the way to 29. I don't see how I can have Burks going to 29 when I do my final mock. The way this one worked out, it did. But when I do my final mock in just under 2 weeks, I could see several teams taking him instead. So Sky Moore is somebody who I really like too. Sky Moore is somebody who I really like. So. Because the defense keeps burning us. I still have nightmares of Sorensen and Neiman. Well, Neiman, I think, is still with the team. Sorensen signed with the Saints, and Sorensen was part of that a big nickel package, a new trend where teams have three safeties, and that's kind of a new thing. Kansas City, as of right now, kind of devoid of corner. Javarius Sneed comes back. DeAndre Baker, a former first-round pick, is somebody that I was really expecting to morph into a starting corner and hasn't yet. But this was Jim Thorpe winner at Georgia, first-round pick. For those of you who don't remember, he was involved in a armed robbery incident. I don't remember all the details. Charges ended up being dropped. Somebody pointed out that he was framed or something like that. Anyway, it's a situation of wrong place, wrong time. And I was really expecting him to take over as a starter, and he hasn't yet. But this kind of a put up or shut up type of year. One thing about Kansas City, it's kind of strange, is that they've really not – they've had a revolving door at corner since Steve Spagnuolo took over. It's just been – they have no problem letting starting corners walk, and they keep doing it every year. So it'll be interesting. I do think that Kansas City will trade up in this draft. I don't think that they're going to pick at 29 and 30, and it'll be interesting to see what they do. I think if they want an edge rusher, I think they have to trade up pretty high. I could see them trading up to 21 for Jameson Williams, and 21 is the spot. New England, there's a couple trade partners. I think Kansas City and Cincinnati are prime trade partners for New England at 21. So yeah, nightmares. Yeah, it's from the owner down. It's new. So yeah, Lions got a new owner. Everything's brand new since 2021, and I said this at the beginning of the 2021 season. I told Lions fans that the foundation's very solid, but it's going to be a bad year. And I don't know if they're ready to make a massive jump up in 2022, but I do like what the Lions are doing. Not big names in free agency, but they're re-signing a lot of their players. And I think an underrated move was got another brain freeze. Jesus, boy, I'm bad. I drink an energy drink and I get all loopy. DJ Chark, very underrated move, very good move. Dorsey was really, really good in the draft. John Dorsey was really, really good in the draft. Travis Kelce in round 3, either in 2014 or 2015. Tyreek Hill in the 5th round. I remember. I think it was somebody with 810 Sports was with John Dorsey, and John Dorsey was sitting with him and during the 3rd round of the NFL draft, and Dorsey nailed like 3 or 4 players in a row for different teams. It was like at pick 86, 87, 88. John, it's like, this player's going here, this player. By the way, that's almost impossible. John Dorsey had a really good pulse on what teams were going to do in the draft, and really made some excellent mid to late round selections. Really, really good at that. And it's something, by the way, he did a very good job in helping Brad Holmes with. Detroit Lions draft was really, really good last year. All the draft picks made the team, and all of them played in 2022. Pete, what's up, brother, man? Something is telling me McCole Hardman takes off next season. Glad to catch you live. Hey man, I'm glad you're here, Pete. Really glad you're here. Miracle Hardman really kind of turned it up last year. He's in a contract year, man. He's in a contract year. A lot of Chiefs fans are hoping he takes that next step up. For those of you who don't know, Miracle Hardman was a 5-star running back who went to Georgia. And because Georgia had some okay players by name of Nick Chubb and DeAndre Swift, they went ahead and moved Miracle Hardman to wide receiver, kick returner, and they were really hoping that when the Chiefs drafted him, for those of you who don't remember, Tyreek Hill was involved in a false incident. Channel 5, a reporter for Channel 5 reported that he was involved in a domestic violence dispute. Really didn't happen that way. There was talk at the time, it was right before the draft too, that Tyreek Hill may miss the whole season. So the Chiefs traded up. They took McCole Hardman in the second round. Really hasn't stepped up yet, but the plan and the hopes are that he's going to turn into a Tyreek Hill type of player and really take off in 2022. You're not the only person that thinks that. You're not the only person. I'm not saying Hall will fall to day 3. I'm saying the Lions won't go running back till day 3. Yeah, there's some actually pretty good running backs. James Cook, the brother of Dalvin Cook. A lot of people feel like he could go in the 3rd round. I'm drawing a blank on the Notre Dame running back. Had a really bad 40 time. The running back out of Iowa, he's a guy who could go day 3. That would be a nice fit. Jerome Ford, running back out of Cincinnati, is a day 3 type of guy, and he's a guy that could come in and be a workhorse type of back. But there's some pretty good running backs in this draft. It's just Breece Hall is my number 1 guy, and I think he could go late 1st round, early 2nd round. I think the Lions will fall in love with this guy. I really do. It wouldn't surprise me if maybe they don't take him at 34, but if he's available somewhere in mid-2nd round, you may trade up and get him. Another thing, let me ask you this here, and I'm behind on comments just a little bit, but let me throw this out to you, Funk. Let's say New England calls and wants to offer you a 4th round pick for Jeffrey Okudah. Do you say no? Throwing it out there. Slash right before 2020 season, Martha Ford stepped down and handed it over to her daughter, Sheila Hemp. Sheila fired Patricia and Quinn on Thanksgiving and hired Chris Spielman to help her. And he's been a big voice in the people they hired in the front office, and Chris knows his stuff. Veach is licking his chops at trade. Veach is this is going to be a fun draft for the. It's kind of funny because Kansas City hosts a draft next year, and this would be the year that'd be a perfect year for Kansas City to host a draft. The Raiders don't even draft. The Raiders don't even pick anybody in the drafts in Vegas, and it's kind of a shame. It's kind of a shame that Kansas City can host. Kansas City should host a draft this year, Vegas next year. Actually, I think they give up picks next year too. So. 7 wins this year is expected. I got my phone out. I should have looked. I think 6 wins is still the number. I should have looked before I went on the air. I think 6 wins is what Vegas has. I'm kind of curious. If they draft a quarterback at either 2 or 32, I think 7 wins might be a little high, but if they do kind of if they draft away, I think they will with the 3 picks I provided in my videos, then 7 would be fair. The one thing about the NFC North is that there's a lot of uncertainty because Minnesota's got a brand new head coach, never been head coach before. Chicago has a brand new head coach, never been head coach. When I start breaking down the Lions, I break down my yearly win total. That's going to be hard because I could see the Lions having 3 wins in the division, and they could have no wins in the division. It's just too hard to say. But I think Vegas still has them at 6. Lots going to determine with the draft. So, holy smokes, I was a Lions fan. I'd be excited. It seems like guys are going there on cheap deals to prove themselves. Yeah. There's I really like. I'm not a Lions fan. Really like what the Lions are doing. Really like what the Lions are doing. They're stockpiling picks. They have 2 picks in the 2023 first round also. So Super Saiyan Giant Lions. Super Saiyan Lions. What's up, DAN? Man, I'm here, man. Love talking football with you guys. And Lions fans, you guys are fantastic. I love talking Lions with you. You guys are Owe you guys owe you guys a lot of thanks. You guys really helped my show out. Love talking football with you guys. What's up, Funky Lions fan? Man, Funk's awesome. Love Funk. Don't get too don't get too high there, Funk. But yeah, I love talking with you every Friday, man. The Lions are finally rebuilding and doing things the right way, not over. Yeah. DJ Chark's a great move. I mean, DJ Chark, let me ask you, here's the thing. They gave $84 million, Jacksonville did, to Christian Kirk. DJ Chark signed for, I think, $12 million in Detroit. I'm not sure that if both players play for 17 games, I'm not sure Chark's not the better player. So, yeah. Pete gives me a thumbs up, man. I love it. D'Angelo Malone, Western Kentucky DN, 6'4", 240, linebacker, is a sleeper, 30.5 sacks last 4 seasons. I don't know too much about him. But I do know that he's kind of a late round sleeper. So, yeah. I love the low-key signings, Davis, Board, Deshaun Elliott. I mentioned DJ Chark, and but all those guys, yeah. And they're real cheap. All of them have been cheap. So, I see it. Yeah. I'd rather give Okuda another season, giving them New England for a 4th, make it another team, and make it another team. Well, you know what? I think a realistic trade would be 3rd, but normally what you do is you lowball a team. I could see New England calling up and offering a 5th. And then settling for a 4th, but to be honest, I think like a 3rd round pick would be realistic. Don't be surprised if New England does make an offer for him. Don't be surprised at all. They're at 6.5 right now, so yeah, it would take them to 7. Even I think that's a reach. To be honest, Lions are just in a tough division. Last time I looked, it was 6. I'm using the Caesars app. I'm using the Caesars app, and I think there's a lot of uncertainty with the NFC North. You have 2 brand new first-time head coaches. Green Bay lost one of their best players. They gave Aaron Rodgers a buttload of money. I think that there's a lot of uncertainty, to be honest with you. I'm looking forward to seeing them on Hard Knocks. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's a good year. It's going to be a great year for football. I say it every year, though. Say that every year. I feel so bad for Tyreek in Miami. We better upgrade the quarterback position to make him happy. It's a pivotal year for Tua. I kind of didn't talk about it yet, but the Baker Mayfield situation, I think it's really surprising that there hasn't been any movement on Baker Mayfield yet. I was really expecting him to be traded already. So it's kind of sad because here's a guy that goes to the Browns and he does some good things. And are you going to tell me he's not a viable starting option? I mean, look at Atlanta. All right. They're going to go with, I got another name freeze here, but Marcus Mariota. You're going to tell me he's not better than Marcus Mariota? They're going to go with Drew Lock in Seattle. It's kind of funny if you had said before the season that when Drew Lock couldn't earn a starting spot in Denver, you're going to tell me before the season last year that Baker Mayfield's not going to have a job, but Drew Lock is. I mean, it's I'm kind of surprised. I'm kind of surprised that there hasn't been some movement. But if Tyreek Hill falters, what do you do? What do you do? I mean, you don't have draft capital to get a quarterback, so I think it's kind of sink or swim. Another thing, like I keep saying, is that I don't bet on rookie head coaches. There's a lot of hype for Miami to be good, and you got first-time head coach in a really tough AFC East. A lot. I know the AFC West is the division that everybody's talking about. Look at the AFC North. All right, you got Cincinnati went to the Super Bowl. You got Pittsburgh that went to the playoffs. Cleveland has Deshaun Watson. Baltimore returns a bunch of players from injury. A lot of people talk about the AFC West. Look at the AFC North, and then the AFC East. New England, they still got Bill Belichick. They went to the playoffs. Buffalo would probably be my top team in the AFC right now. Tyreek Hill is in Miami, and the Jets get 2 picks in the top 10. They're going to be an improving team. All the AFC is very, very dangerous. But the thing is with Miami is, what do you do if it doesn't work out with Tua? What do you do? So, what's good, Zayon? Yeah. Malone will be a steal if he falls to the 4th round. Don't know too much about the guy, man. Don't know too much about the guy. So, Chark takes off the top and opens up for Amon and Hawk Swift on check down. Yeah. That was kind of the thing when I was looking at drafting Breece Hall is if in this situation, if Breece Hall ends up being the Lions pick at 34, he's your starting running back. Swift would probably be your leading receiver, catch about 80, 90 passes. And I think that would be a perfect situation for the Detroit Lions. Because Swift's a guy that he gets the ball in the open field. Oh God, he's a lot of fun. He was the guy that I really wanted Kansas City to draft in the 1st round when they chose CEH. I really wanted it to be Swift, and of course it's gone with CEH, and of course Jonathan Taylor's the guy that took off. I didn't want Jonathan Taylor in Kansas City because when at Wisconsin he only had 7 catches, but he's turned into a pretty decent receiver, but he's obviously the best running back in that draft. So. Malone threw 330-pound Trevor Penning back into his quarterback. If you can develop him, it'll be a serious problem with his speed. It'll be interesting to see. When I do my final, the Monday after the draft, I'll have a video of my draft grades and I'll pay attention to him. He's a guy to look for. It'll be interesting because is this somebody who could play defensive end, or is this a pure outside linebacker? Because he may go to a team like my Kansas City Chiefs as a defensive end. Hot take: Cleveland is not going to be good this year. Yes, I'll stand by it. I mean, there's no proof that look. The last big blockbuster trade like this was Herschel Walker, and the Vikings never went to a Super Bowl. Dallas went to several. If you had to say who won this trade, I would say Houston by a landslide. Remember, he didn't play at all last year, and Cleveland lost some players in free agency. The division that they're in is brutal. You already mentioned you got 2 playoff teams, and then I'm not sure Baltimore, if healthy, is not the best team in that division. I can make a strong case Cleveland's the worst team in the AFC North, even with Watson. I really can. I mean, and keep in mind, here's another thing I think about if you're Deshaun Watson. They built that team around you. Cleveland, it's a run first team. That team's built around Nick Chubb, and you have to worry about Nick Chubb staying healthy. I mean, he got injured in college when he's had injury issues in the pros. They didn't re-sign Kareem Hunt. That's a top 10 running back. It's kind of interesting. I haven't seen anywhere. Somebody help me out here. Is Kareem Hunt signed anywhere? I haven't seen it. I haven't even mentioned this, that the Colts signed Stephen Gilmore. That's a great signing for the Colts. So I'm not sure that's too much of a hot take, Slasher. When I break down the teams, they'll start in July. I'll have to take a look. I don't know what the over under for Cleveland is, and the Caesars app that I use, they have a playoff predictor, yes or no. I don't know if they're predicted to make the playoffs or not. I don't know. But we'll hold you to this. Slasher is saying Cleveland. How about not making the playoffs? You know, that's another thing in the AFC. You may need 10 wins. You may need 11 wins to make the playoffs in the AFC. You might have to be 11-6 minimum. 11-6. Slasher, I don't see another take. Kareem Hunt is not signed anywhere. No, I don't think he has. I think that would be big news. And this is a guy I think is a legitimate top 10 running back. And Stephen Gilmore actually was a good signing. And the reason I said that is a few analysts say Watson is going to take Cleveland to the Super Bowl. So a hot take, autocorrect, and fat fingers. Let me see here. I don't see another autocorrect. Okay. Yeah, I actually really like Stephen Gilmore, and the Colts are a team that I think it's a massive upgrade. Matt Ryan over boy, it's like the fifth name freeze I forgot already, man. This is really bad, man. I don't drink energy drinks very often, and so yeah. But anyway, Carson Wentz. Okay. Sorry about that, guys. I drink an energy drink, I get jacked up and I start forgetting names. But yeah, man, Stephen Gilmore could be a great signing, great fit. And then Matt Ryan, he didn't have a good year last year, but that offense is not built for Matt Ryan. This offense in Indianapolis, custom built. Another thing is that the Colts, they pick at 42. They've had some really good success in the second round. Darius Leonard, Jonathan Taylor. So, yeah. A hot take, autocorrect, and fat fingers. And that will somehow overshadow Tom Brady's legacy. Oh, okay. There was something that said like if Watson. Okay, I think I know what you're talking about. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think I don't know who said this. I saw it on social media that somebody put down that if Deshaun Watson takes Cleveland to a Super Bowl, that would be more impressive than Tom Brady winning 7 Super Bowls or 6 Super Bowls, and it was silly. It was silly. No, it doesn't. It doesn't. I disagree with you completely on this. He's not inconsistent. He was inconsistent last year, but that was under a rookie head coach who at Tennessee used Marcus Mariota and Ryan Tannehill's athleticism in the quarterback position. But Matt Ryan had some great years before that when he was under Dan Quinn, and they had an offense kind of tailored around him. But the 4,000 yards, 25, 30 touchdowns, absolutely. And, to be honest with you, it wouldn't surprise me if Matt Ryan goes for 5,000. It really wouldn't surprise me. Last year, they kind of relied a little much on Jonathan Taylor because Carson Wentz played so bad. But Matt Ryan's a major upgrade. Nobody's talking about the Colts, but I think you add Matt Ryan on that team, they definitely get to the playoffs. You have Jonathan Taylor, who almost hit 2,000. Now you get Matt Ryan. The defense is solid. Last year they had Kwity Paye. He's a guy I really like. Now you had Yannick Ngakoue. I'm probably butchering that name. They got him in a trade with the Raiders. Nobody's talking about the Colts, but that's a team that's a team I don't want to play in the playoffs. I don't want to play the Colts in the playoffs. Denver Gator, what is up, brother? Denver Gator says, all right. Let's go. And Denver Gator, I'm jacked up, man. I had energy drink right before I came into the show. Energy drink, very jacked up. Very jacked up. If the Browns don't sign Hunt, that would be a big mistake. I don't know if they can. I don't think they're really wanting to. The running back that they signed last year, third string running back, is pretty good, and they also want to fill some holes. One of the things that they decided to do is they traded their starting middle linebacker for another name freeze. It was with the Patriots. God, I'm having a bunch of name freezes today. But it was an interesting move, but he's a pass rusher, Winovich. So it'll be kind of interesting to see what kind of impact, because he's going to take over opposite Myles Garrett. He's taken over for Clowney in Cleveland. So what's running back's name? Who I was trying to remember? Third string running back per ESPN's Jermaine Johnson, but that's not the guy I was thinking of. He's not even listed on here, but I don't know if they can. 367 TDs to 170 INTs is not very great, but you still could have Carton win, so I wouldn't complain, honestly. If you're referring to Matt Ryan, I'd have to look that number up just to confirm, but Matt Ryan's going to be in Canton someday. Yeah, I'll look that up. Is that right? Matt Ryan's going to be in Canton. That's Hall of Fame. That's a Hall of Famer. Let me see here. Well, you're overlooking 59,735. How many quarterbacks have thrown for 60 grand? It's a small list. Matt Ryan's going to be a Hall of Famer. If you want to say 367 and 170, when everything's said and done, Matt Ryan's going through for over 400 touchdowns. How many quarterbacks have done that in NFL history? Small list. I mean, that's future Hall of Famer. I mean, you're looking at his career numbers and you're saying that's not very great. Do you realize how many quarterbacks in NFL history have thrown for 60,000 yards and 400 touchdowns? And that's what he's going to end up with. And you want to tell me that's not very good? That's a very small list of quarterbacks. And I'll tell you this, every other one is in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. So I disagree with you, but you can disagree with me on the show. No mind at all. Saying if Hunt makes it past the draft, Dorsey might push him here, and if they can get him cheap, I'd take him in a heartbeat and send Netflix. Seriously, Dorsey in Detroit, or I'm sorry, Kareem Hunt, that would be a great move. I didn't even think about it, but that would be a great move. That would be a great move. I didn't even think about that, but yeah. One Pride 40, what's up, man? Man, glad to see you, brother. I finally finished all of my 32 picks in the mock draft, starting Sunday. I'm going to make videos for all the teams that don't have a first round pick. And by the time next Friday comes around, hopefully I'll have a video for every single team. I'm going to work really hard. Try to get a video for every single team. I think your Bears are up next. If I'm right, the Bears are the first team. Yeah, it'll be the Bears at 39, then the Colts at 42. San Francisco at 61, then Denver at 64. And I think I got all the players chosen. I think I got a player chosen for all those picks. So do you think Sheila would be okay with that, knowing his history? It's a tough one. It's a tough one. It's just hard. It's just hard. It's hard to say. Some teams may not even want him on the team, but if you watch him as a player, if you watch my video that I released today, I think the Lions at 34 could go Breece Hall, and I think that would be a brilliant move. Real good, real good player. My number one running back. So. Saying if they tell her he's the guy, then yeah, but she's not getting involved in any way. Netflix's name of Reynolds, running back. The Lions got off the couch last year. He said he was watching Netflix when I'm kind of surprised you guys didn't like Hall, but yeah. Bears just sucks. Rock Howard. Love the name, man. Love the name, man. That's awesome. Yeah. I do a video on everybody. Everybody gets a video. Everybody gets a video. Bears get one. Bears get one too. Kareem Hunt to be a free agent until 2023, from what I can find. It's funny because the Lions have him. Or I'm sorry, the Browns have him on the roster, but I was positive he was a free agent this year. Let me see here. I'm going on ESPN. According to ESPN, he's under contract. I could be mistaken. I thought he was a free agent, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong there. Maybe I'm wrong there. I've been wrong before. But I thought he's a free agent. But according to ESPN, looks like he's under contract this year. I still think that that whole AFC North, everybody talks about the AFC West, but look at that AFC North. I mean, you got two playoff teams from last year, and then you got the Ravens got a lot of players, and then, Cleveland, they get Deshaun Watson. So the source I could find may be wrong. Well, you know what, Mike? Let's I should know this, but there's two sources that I like to use to look up player contracts. Let me see. I thought I had. No, here it is. It's probably mispronouncing it, but a Spot Rack. That's one I like to use. But yeah, he would fit well. He'd fit well for several teams, man. He'd fit well for several teams. So let me see here. This is the one that I like to use. I should put a link to this below, but let me see here. Running back, Kareem Hunt. Yeah, it was a 2-year, $12 million deal. And yeah, he's in looks like he's under contract in 2022. Huh. I was in 2022, 100 base salary, and yeah, okay. In 2022, Kareem Hunt will earn a base salary of $1.35 million and a roster bonus of 4.9, carrying a cap hit of 6.2. Yeah, he's under contract. Unrestricted free agent in 2023. All right, I was wrong. It's happened before. It's a rare thing, very rare thing. Yeah, I was thinking he was a free agent, man. Yeah, no, he's with the Lions. So you got two good running backs. You got your quarterback. You got Amari Cooper, your number one wide receiver. You don't pick in the draft till pick number 78, but yeah. Yeah, I can agree with that. It's not the yards that concern me. It's just Matty Ice. It's a low TD ratio to his interceptions. 2019, he threw 26 touchdowns, 14 interceptions. 2020 threw 26 TDs, 11 interceptions. No, I get that. But you also had some Julio Jones consistently was banged up. They were playing from behind. Took some chances, but man. Also, there's a really talent deficient. Remember, what's his name? Betting on football. It's going to miss off next year. Situation with him. There's a lot of situations outside his control, but he's a guy that with the Colts I could see having a fantastic season. So. I feel like if you're throwing for over 4,000 yards, you should definitely get more touchdowns, even though he did have a receiver that was coming in and out of the lineup the past 2 years. He had a couple. Atlanta is a team, when I start breaking down my over-unders for the year, Atlanta's a team going into 2020, going into this season. I think Atlanta might be the worst team in the NFL. That's a team I just think's just got disaster written all over it. But I get what you're saying. I think he's going to have a good year in Indianapolis. I think that Frank Reich's going to be a good year. I like Brisker, Cine, and Petre for Detroit. Are you, you don't want to draft. So either one of those guys at 32, or do you want Detroit to double dip on safeties? But all those guys are fine. All those guys are fine. Oh, okay, one of those. One of those three. You know what? I'll be honest. When I do my final mock, either one of those three could be the pick, because I don't think Dax Hill is going to be available at 32. But if he is available, I think that you definitely want to take that guy at 32. I don't. It's funny because there's a lot of players at it that I really want to put in the first round that I wasn't able to. In my mock draft, Andrew Booth, how is he not drafted? Travis Jones should go in the first round. Chris Olave, how the hell is he not? He's not available. Yeah. There's a lot of things that there's a lot of players I really wanted to put in the first round that I didn't. But yeah. Atlanta did him wrong for sure. He had one of the greatest Super Bowl performances ever. Hopefully the Colts can do. Yeah, it was really, really, really a bad situation. The best quarterback in the history of Atlanta. And when his career is over, he'll have his number retired. They'll do something. The Atlanta Falcons have a good franchise, but that I think Atlanta for the next couple of years is going to be the worst team in the NFL. I mean, Marcus Mariota, I don't think he's going to help out at all. I think you have to draft a quarterback, and Atlanta's in a really bad situation. Edge 2, linebacker 32, safety 34. I don't. The only issue I would have when you say linebacker, are you talking inside linebacker? You're not talking another edge rusher, I'm assuming. So okay. Well, let's see. To be honest with you, I'd flip safety and linebacker, and the reason why is because I could see Jacksonville taking a safety at 33, and if that's the case, then you'd probably flip those. I don't think. Well, you know what? They could be interested in linebacker. Miles Jack left to the Steelers in free agency, so edge 2, linebacker 32. I'm assuming you're going inside linebacker. Out of the inside linebackers, which one would you like? Let me see here. I have the NFL Network pulled up here. I like using the Bucky Brooks top 5 picks. So let's see here. You could go Christian Harris, Troy Anderson. Actually, you know what? Forget all those guys. Quay Walker would probably be the best fit. So let me ask you this here. How would you feel double dip on Walkers? Trayvon Walker at 2, Quay Walker 32. Actually, why not have a threesome? All right. Trayvon Walker at 2, Quay Walker at 32, and then Cine at 34. Why not have a threesome with Georgia? How'd you feel about that? That kind of excites me. Dax Hill over those, but yeah, I think he does too. I think he does. What do you if the Lions take Kalifdis or Jermaine Johnson at 2? Kalifdis, I would be floored because his stock's really been kind of falling. But Jermaine Johnson would be a real dark horse, but talented. Jermaine Johnson at 2 would be a dark horse, but he's a pass rusher. The one thing about Jermaine Johnson is that if you had to say, just terms of pure pass rusher, I think he's a better pass rusher than Trayvon Walker. As far as just getting after the quarterback, Jermaine Johnson for what Detroit wants to do would be really, really interesting. Really, really interesting. Karlaftis, I would hate at 2 because his stock's really been kind of falling. Good player though. I think that if you're really focused on Kalifdis, you may be able to trade up from 32 somewhere in the 20s and get him. So, but Jermaine Johnson too would be a lot of fun. Not I wouldn't hate that as much as a lot of other people. So, I'm assuming that you're talking about this one here. Kirby Joseph is another guy I like. I actually like him too. I just not early. Super Saiyan Lions. If that happens, you just jump off a cliff. Excuse me. But we signed Elliott. Yeah, you got Elliott from the Ravens. You're a strong safety. I think he's a guy that you could definitely upgrade on. But he's definitely he's definitely a good strong safety though. He's kind of an upgrade for what you have at this point. You got Walker, who's a solid free safety, not a great one. You could actually upgrade at both those positions. Dax Hill would not be a safety in the NFL. He's more of a slot corner. Funk says the same thing. I think he's a do-it-all safety. I hate the comparison, but it's not completely inaccurate as somebody like Honey Badger. But this is a guy who's a safety who can do a lot of things. And he played a lot of slot corner, but I think in the NFL, he's a safety who just does a lot of things. And he's a guy that I think when everything's said and done, he'll go somewhere in the top 20. But I think the NFL Network said that if they draft a guy like Dax Hill, I'm not so sure you just don't make him into a corner. I think he's safety. Wait, Ole fell to the second. You did give him to Detroit. You hate my squad or something. No. The reason why I don't is because you addressed wide receiver in free agency. I used to have him on Ross St. Brown. Bottom line, even though receivers a higher priority than running back, Breece Hall would have about 350 touches, where a rookie receiver, even Olave, would have 80 max. I mean, that's kind of the way I was looking at it. By the way, there's nothing stopping you from trading up in the second round. You have 2 picks in the third, but that's a tough one. That's a tough one. Olave also might be the pick at 33. But Breece Hall's my number one running back, and I think that a workhorse running back may be something that the Lions want to address. So, and keep in mind, if you drafted Breece Hall, then DeAndre Swift becomes more of a receiver. Maybe your number one. He might be your leader in receptions, 80-90. So. Elliott is just a filler signing, be a player. Yeah. Talking off. Yeah. That's kind of what I was thinking. Quay Walker at 32. And by the way, I didn't even mention this in my video, but I do like Quay Walker at 32. That would be a good value. I didn't mention him though. Christian Harris can be the Lions pick. Christian Harris is another guy. I'm fine with Johnson at 2. I dislike Thibodeau that much. I'm really surprised. I'm really, really surprised that Thibodeau getting lots of hate. I think that he'll end up at Houston at 3. I really like Channel at 34. That's kind of an interesting one. Elliott will play a lot if he's healthy. They said they want to go with more 3 safety sets, so I'll have to play. That's something that a lot of NFL teams are doing, is that 3 safety set, and you get Walker, Elliott. You still need a third one. That's why I like Dax Hill. Dax Hill can play nickel corner. He could play free safety. I think he could play strong safety. I really, really like that guy. But yeah, I expect more teams to play a 3 safety set. I love Christian Watson. He's a guy I couldn't find a spot in the first round for him. that was really, really hard. But he's a guy that I'll be honest with you, when I make the video, I'll probably release it Monday. When I do the Bears video, that could be the pick at 39 for Chicago. So I'm cool in the double dip for linebacker. Yeah. I mean, it wouldn't be bad, man. It wouldn't be bad. Rock Howard, you don't take Johnson at 2. That's what I call overvaluing a prospect. What would you do? What you would do is trade down where he's projecting, get extra picks in the process. I had him originally going to Atlanta at 8, and then the Matt Ryan trade happened. But currently I got him going 17 to the Chargers, and I think he goes way before 17. But I mean, I think it's a reach at 2, but it may not be as much of a reach as people think. I mean, this is a guy who's really maybe you're the best pure pass rusher in the draft. And I mean, there's a lot of things I like about this guy, but I kind of think that's let's just say Lions go from 2 to 6, and then getting him at 6, I think would make a little more sense. But it's a great thing about the draft, because it's kind of funny, because last year everybody knew Trevor Lawrence was going number 1. Nobody has any idea. I mean, we're less than 2 weeks away, and we're not even sure if Jacksonville's going to go offense or defense in this draft. Trayvon Walker could go number 1 to Jacksonville, and that may be the guy the Lions are in love with. So I'm a Brian as a Moa fan. Hey, man, he's not a bad player. Not a bad player. He will play the CGJ role. I don't know what that is. If Hutch is available, then Walker, Willis, Johnson. Okay, Walker at 32, Willis at 34, Johnson at 66. All right. Muma at 34. God, Muma at 34? God, that might be too high. I say he might. I don't know, man. I don't know. Unless, of course, my draft crush Nakobe Dean falls to 32. Seriously, my first instinct is to nix that, but there's always a player that free falls. And it wouldn't surprise me if Nakobe Dean is a guy who just free falls. I got him currently going to Philly at 18, but I could see Philly just saying, because they here's the reason why I like him going to Philly, is because Philly has 2 linebackers on 1-year deals. But I could, if he falls to 32, I think it'd be great. Seriously, he's a guy, because there's a lot of teams that run a 3-4 defense in the last third of the draft. I mentioned this in the Chiefs video, because after the Saints pick at 19, every team runs a 3-4 type of defense except for Dallas, Buffalo, Kansas City, and Cincinnati's not going to take a linebacker. Kansas City's not going to take a linebacker. And I don't think there's a lot of 3-4 teams that really want to take Nakobe Dean, but I could see I've seen weirder things, man. It may not be as unlikely as you think. So Jermaine Johnson's going to go around 12 to 18, anywhere higher, because they're considered to reach by most scouts. That's fair. That's fair to say. I thought originally having him go to Atlanta before the Matt Ryan trade made a lot of sense. Excuse me, but I do really like this guy. I think that's fair. Every single edge in the first round has been projected as 7 to 9 sacks. That's not really great, so it doesn't matter which edge you take. It kind of depends on the team preference. I think a team like Detroit would really value Aiden Hutchinson a little more than maybe another team. The reason why is I think Aiden Hutchinson's a safe prospect, but there's some holes in his game. I mean, he lacks natural bend. He's not an elite athlete. A guy like Jermaine Johnson, I think, has got a little more bend and more athletic. It's kind of funny because nobody brings this up, but Trayvon Walker was about 15 pounds heavier than Hutchinson and ran, I think it was at 4.52. Hutchinson was 4.7. So a guy who's bigger, stronger, faster, doesn't have the length. And one thing about Walker is if you watch him play, he's not a pure pass rusher. That's one thing that I kind of was downgrading him on, is that this guy doesn't have like that bend. Like watch Kayvon Thibodeau. Thibodeau has that bend. He has that natural pass rush ability. But yeah, it really depends on which you like more, man. It's going to be interesting because there could be a team that likes Jermaine Johnson better than Thibodeau. Like for the Houston Texans, I got Houston Texans taking Thibodeau at 3, and I'm probably going to stick with that. I can see Houston Texans loving Thibodeau, but maybe a guy like Trayvon Walker is a guy they like more. Maybe they want to go with Jermaine Johnson. It's going to be really interesting because one of the things about this draft is that there's going to be an edge rusher who just falls down. So Califtis stats are not as impressive as the other because he handled more double teams and some triple teams. That's very true, and that's something that a lot of scouts are going to have to look at. He also lacks length. I've been seeing a lot of a lot of people think that he's more of a 4-3 defensive end. I still think he's a 3-4 outside linebacker. I got him going to Arizona at 23, and I think that's a great fit, and I think it's great value for the Cardinals. So, been so long since the Broncos didn't have a first rounder, so I'm taking interest in the second or third rounders for talent and fits. First round would be insane, especially watching where the quarterbacks go. Yeah, it'll be very interesting because I got a player at 64 I think Denver could take, and it's kind of a dark horse, but there's one player in this draft I really like Denver to take at 64. But this is an interesting draft. Let's see here. Let me bring up all Denver's picks because I do got a player who I think Denver will take at 64. Hopefully, I'll hit you up on Twitter when I do my Denver video. Hopefully, I'll have all the Denver. I'll have all the teams that don't pick a first round. I have all those videos available hopefully before next Friday. But see, Denver picks 64, and they pick twice in the third round, twice in the fourth round. That's very interesting. They have picks 115, 116, back-to-back picks in the fourth round. Because you have 2 picks in rounds 3, 2 picks in rounds 4, you could definitely trade up. I'm kind of curious where their number one, what they consider their number one hole to fill in the draft. I got a player in mind. I'm just going to leave it at that. But there's somebody I've had in mind for Denver at 64 for a while. My draft crush is Chad Muma. Well, seriously, if he plays anything like Logan Wilson, both of them went to Wyoming, then it's a fantastic pick. And I think 34 might be a reach for him, but he had a good combine, and Logan Wilson was a guy that some people thought the Bengals kind of overdrafted in the third round, and he's been phenomenal, just phenomenal. I'm fully aware, but he's listed by almost every scouting source as a safety, and I think he's going to be a great safety. There could be a team that drafts him and says, "Hey, you're going to be like corner." I think he's an NFL safety. That's just my opinion. I've been wrong before. Thibs is like you see. I don't think so at all, and you've probably seen the same thing that I'm seeing, that it's been leaked that he takes plays off, and I don't think he's lazy, but I've seen the same thing, and I think that's something that teams are letting out there, because this is still a guy that I think I still think that he goes 3 to Houston. I like Alex Pierce more than Christian Watson. You're not alone. And one thing about Alex Pierce is he had a really good combine. I did not think he was going to do that well at the combine. He ran really fast. He's bigger than I thought. He may be a guy that a team gets in the third round, has a great NFL career. Hey, one, Pride, Mum's the big talking point around here. Lots of Broncos fans watch. You know, that's actually a great fit. That's actually a great fit. Great value at 64. I think 64 would be a perfect spot. So I don't blame y'all, and your Broncos are my Super Bowl pick. Wow. All right. All right. If the Lions fall to 6, we better get a first in Jeremy Chin. I'm gonna let you know. I'm gonna tell you right now. I would be floored if Carolina gave up Jeremy Chin. I think that's a player that they are not offering. I'll throw this out there. I think it's much more likely that you get Christian McCaffrey than Jeremy Chin. So Chanel can stop the run, a great attack on the quarterback. I don't know too much about that guy, to be perfectly honest. Let's go one. Pride definitely have to make the playoffs. Even one and done would be a huge improvement. And it's by the way, it's a lot of pressure. I mean, you get a first-time head coach, you add a future Hall of Famer in Russell Wilson, you have a ton of skill position talent and a defense that was third in scoring last year, and you're in a loaded division. There's lots of pressure. But anything less than a playoff berth will be a massive disappointment for Denver. Two big problems we had last year. Stop it. Yeah. You guys finally have a quarterback. You'll go far. Maybe. I can see Lloyd and Chanel being the only two first rounders. I don't know if you really think Chanel can go in the first round? Benato, I'm probably butchering that name, was ranked best pure pass rusher than Johnson, I believe. I know Benato got a lot of hype and had a really good combine. I have not seen anything where he's a first rounder. Just Johnson. When you watch him at Florida State, he to me just looks like a pure pass rusher. Benato, I'm not so sure. I think he's mocked somewhere in the second round. Could be a great fit for a team in the second round. Don't have him in the first round. Johnson's a guy currently mocked at 17, but I'm not sure he goes that low. I think he could go much higher. No, I'm saying at 2 for Detroit. Hutch, if he's available, then toss up a wall. Oh, okay. Would love to trade back. Probably won't happen. I think that I think it's a coin flip if they trade back. I think their number one trade partner would be Carolina, and I think Carolina could offer a lot of 2023 draft capital. They don't have a second and third round pick this year. But I think Atlanta could also be a trade partner. Both these teams, I think, want to trade up and draft a quarterback. But if Hutch isn't available, Walker, Willis, Johnson, I get that. I've been toying around. I'm not saying this is going to happen, but I've been toying around with having Walker be the pick at 2. I've been really toying around with Walker being the pick at 2. I think Walker's more of a 3-4 outside linebacker, and when Hutchinson, I think, would be best suited for a 4-3 defense, to be perfectly honest. I think if he goes to Detroit, you kind of got to play him defensive end in your base nickel package, and then in your base 3-4 package, he's a 5 technique, where a guy like Walker would be a edge rusher, same thing in your base nickel, but in a 3-4, he's on the outside. And I love the fact that in a base package, you get a 275-pound guy on the outside who runs around a 4.5. I love that, because in running situations, you put him outside the tackle with 4.5 speed. That's really enticing, man, because you kind of eliminate a team's ability to run the ball with a guy like Walker on the outside. Where if I'm Hutchinson and I use him as an outside linebacker, I'm not sure that's a good fit. So I'm kind of toying around with that, but I think it's very likely that Detroit can trade down from 2. I really do. I'm kind of right now I think it's a coin flip if they're going to trade back. I think the number 1 trade partner would be Carolina, but it wouldn't surprise me if Atlanta ends up making a good deal too. Johnson will go higher. Yeah, I really like Johnson. Like I said, I thought Atlanta at 8 would be a prime spot. It'll be interesting to see what happens. Muma is a baller. If he, I know that there's a I don't know if you can really. I mean, it's kind of easy comparison because Logan Wilson went there, but if he's anything like Logan Wilson, then he's going to be a stud, and he probably benefits by as well as Logan Wilson's been playing too. So Dean scares me a lot of questions with him. Give me a bunch of names I cannot pronounce. Mafe or Nick Benito start day 2. Yeah, seriously. I when I was thinking about 34, I was thinking about Mafe at 34. Dean isn't a stack and Shed linebacker. He's a scrape and slide guy. So the thing is, he'll need to stay off offensive linemen when pulling, and that's something he can do. That's something he has the ability to do. Very, very, very instinctive. I think he's better suited for a 4-3 type of defense, but you use him right. He could be an absolute stud. He could be an absolute stud. So, yeah, I know what you're saying. You think he'd do that with McNeil? Put McNeil on the outside? Can you clarify? Can you clarify that? Another guy I'd be happy with is the Marvin Leal on day 2. It's actually funny because if the Chiefs don't grab Logan Hall at 30, Logan Hall I can see going to Detroit. If you go outside linebacker at 2, I can see Logan Hall. That would be a guy I think that has a lot of 5 technique potential. But the Marvin Leal, yeah, that'd be great. Yeah. My thoughts are exactly what Chris said. Chris Sims said about Thibodeau. It's not his crappy attitude. It puts me off his lack of production when you watch him last year. Dude. I'd have to disagree with you. I'm not familiar with what Chris Sims said, but I'm a big fan of Chris Sims. I love listening to the guy talk about football. I didn't see a lack of production. I saw a player had a lot of splash plays and had an impact on games. If you watch the Stanford game, he had a personal foul penalty. I thought it was an unfair penalty. They don't call that penalty, and I don't think they should if they win that game and might be competing for a national championship. But yeah. I like Christian Watson a lot. Somebody mentioned, I think it was Funk who mentioned he had a high drop rate. I'm still taking him from the Lions. I like his upside. Big dude, fast, return punts. I got the Bears video will be the next one I come out with at 39. Christian Watson could easily be the pick. Devon, I am not aware of this. No clue. Now, in all fairness, I didn't have a chance to do a lot of research today. I had to get some things done, so I didn't. I'm not aware. I'm not aware. No clue. If that's the case, you could take him out round 1. I had him originally going higher than a lot of people thought because I like his fit in that wide 9 defense with the Jets. But when everything's said and done, I may have the Jets go another direction. I knew nothing about it. Jalen Tolbert, that's another guy I do like. No, I don't have him in the first round though. So if Walker goes top 3, I think he'll be at 1. Balky Lozo's high upside. Yeah. There's been more and more mock drafts that have Walker going number 1. And to be honest, I don't hate it because Josh Allen is a natural pass rusher on the opposite side. Chasem, I'm drawing a blank on his first name. The first round pick a couple years ago is a guy I loved him coming out of draft, but in 2 years he has 2 sacks. It wouldn't surprise me if Jacksonville takes an edge rusher at 1 or 33. It really wouldn't. But Walker going to Jacksonville, I think makes a lot of sense because you got Josh Allen on the other side. You got Walker. I mean, you got so much athleticism at the outside linebacker position. You got a couple guys that can also be pure defensive ends in a 4-3 defense. Now, Josh Allen, when he came out of Kentucky, I thought he was a 3-4 outside linebacker, and then they went to a 4-3 defense. He put on some size and really kind of excelled as a 4-3 defensive end. And then last year, Urban Meyer wanted to go back to a 3-4, and I think that's his natural position. But Walker and Josh Allen would be a lot of fun, and they have some size on that defensive line too. So I mean, in that AFC South division, the number one team currently is the Tennessee Titans, and their number one player is Derrick Henry. So adding size. Remember, he's 15 pounds heavier than Hutchinson and significantly faster. I think Hutchinson as a pass rusher, I think Hutchinson's easily a better pass rusher, but I'm not sure how well he fits in a 3-4 team, even though most teams play nickel now. But I keep seeing Walker going 1. I keep seeing it. And my mock draft one I got out right now, he free falls all the way to Philly at excuse me. He free falls to Philly at 15, and he's not going 15. He'll go. I'm sticking with Evan Neal currently, but God, that makes a lot of sense, man. It makes a lot of sense. I mean, a lot of size on the outside. You're in a team that, you know, you're trying to beat Derrick Henry and Titans. So I mean, makes a lot of sense. Makes a lot of sense. Rock, if you like Watson, go watch Pierce. He runs better routes, has similar size and speed. He actually does, and I did not think he was nearly that fast. I never saw separation with him at Cincinnati, but had a really great combine, and that was one thing Ritter kept on liking to throw to him, and at first I thought that, well, it's just lack of talent on Cincinnati. Then at the combine, he did really well, and that whole conference is really taking a step up. You know, you get Cincinnati national championship, SMU and Tulsa, I think, were ranked. There's some good teams in that conference. It's called the American Conference, former Big East Conference. There's some good teams in that conference. There's probably going to be about 2 or 3 ranked teams. SMU has a good recruiting class. Tulsa has a good recruiting class. Cincinnati, they're actually, it's kind of funny. They have like an all Ohio team, which is kind of weird, but they got a lot of good 2 and 3 star players. It wouldn't surprise me if Cincinnati's ranked again, even though they're going to lose a lot of players. Yeah, that was one of those combine performances Pierce had that was really under the radar, but really helped him out. I mean, here's a guy probably was a 4th, 5th round player, could go in the 2nd round. Really, really, really good combine performance. I agree with one Funky Lions fan about Pierce. Yeah. Watch his film. I mean, he's solid on film, really solid. I didn't see the one negative about Pierce. I didn't see a lot of separation, and I thought it was his athleticism. Then he goes to combine. Now I'm like, well, was he just throwing in tight windows? You know, is Ritter that good of a quarterback? Here's the one thing is that even though Pierce didn't get a lot of separation, when he had defensive backs draped on him, he still made catches, made a lot of plays. And then at the combine, I didn't think he would be as fast, and he is. Okay, I'm cool with either receiver. Brad, get one of those ballers to the D. It wouldn't surprise me if 32 or 34. It wouldn't surprise me if either 32 or 34 ends up being a receiver. Sauce Gardner is from Detroit, I believe. I could be wrong, but I think actually he is. Yeah, he's from the Detroit area. Was a 2-star recruit who was not lightly regarded coming out, but got scholarship to Cincinnati, started as freshman, and just started to grow. And it's funny because I think Luke G posted something about the Lions saying they don't care about positional value. They're going to take who they think the best player is. And Luke G was thinking they're talking about Hamilton. The player I think that they were really referring about was Sauce Gardner. And I brought up earlier that, how would you feel if New England called and offered you a 4th round? I think I said 5th, but let's just say 4th round pick, 4th or 5th for Okudah. And you guys are like, no. But when if you can get a 3rd or a 4th from New England, let's say 3rd. All right. When if you can get a 3rd, 4th, or 5th for Okudah, do you take Sauce Gardner at 2? Deep draft and edge rusher. Maybe you get Mafe at 32. Maybe double dip. You get I don't know, Benato. I'm butchering the name at 34. Mafe at 32. I think it's much more likely that Sauce Gardner is to pick it too than Hamilton. But I would be really I would be floored if Detroit went Sauce Gardner at 2. But man, he's really good, really good. Balky about to get fired. They have to have some success. They a lot of free agents. Got to have success. 6-7 wins may not be enough. 6-7 wins may not be enough. Rock, I will trust Holmes and Dorsey when it comes to drafting wide receivers. I think they'll like George Pickens. The kid blocks his ass off. I like Pickens a lot. I would love to put Pickens late in the 1st round. I would actually love to put Pickens at Detroit at 32. I would love to do that. I just couldn't do it. Pickens is one of those guys who, I'll be honest with you, it could really free fall in this draft. You may end up. I know you won't agree with this, but this is a guy. It happens every year. You could have a player that just drops. You may be able to get him at 66. I think he's a top 50 player, but he's a guy that could just free fall. I really like him. I wouldn't have a problem if Kansas City took him at 50. I wouldn't. I agree with you, Funk. I would love to see Pickens in Chiefs uniform. For those of you who don't know, Funk is a huge Lions fan and a huge Chiefs fan. Funk loves the Chiefs. So Funk's really a Raiders fan. I'm just playing, just having some fun here. All right. I'm going on an hour 30. I'm starting to lose my voice here. I hope this, and if you haven't already, I made videos for all 32 picks. I kind of went hardcore this last week. Got a lot of videos for the Lions. I did a fun thing, pick number 34. By next Friday, I will have a video I think I will have a video for every team that didn't have a 1st round pick. I think there's 7. I think there's 7 teams. There could be 8. And then I'm going to advertise this extensively, but I will go live April 27th. It's a Wednesday. I will have my final 1st round mock, and that will be my final one. And then May 2nd, I will have my draft video. So I'll have my final. I'll I'll have my mock draft grading video. I'll rank all the teams. And by the way, I'll also when I do my draft grades, teams like the Rams, the Raiders, the Dolphins are going to get lower grades because not because that they made bad trades for draft picks. It's just that I'm going to go with what's drafted. So teams that have a lot of draft picks are going to get better grades, and teams that don't have picks are going to get lower grades. I will ding you like the Miami Dolphins. I'm not going to give them an A+, because they got Tyreek Hill in the draft, even though they did get Tyreek Hill in the draft. I'm going to go by the players that they choose. So I take a low third for Okudah, but I wouldn't want Sauce. Amari Smith, I can't pronounce that, was actually really good last year, tied for third in interceptions, top 5 in QBR, I believe, and then Melifonwu was drafted by Holmes. Exactly. I mean, one thing is that teams that, when you get a new regime that comes into play, a lot of times you don't really have a lot of love for a guy. So that's kind of why I could see Okudah being trade bait. And I haven't heard that anywhere, but that's something that, Okudah was the third overall pick for a different regime. Matt Patricia's in New England. He may be like, hey, listen, this guy, let's give up a third round. Let me see here. New England picks 85. 85 is fair. If I am the Detroit Lions, would I take the 85th pick in the draft for Okudah? The answer is yes. And part of the reason why is because those two corners that you have there, and I'm not even going to try to go their names, but I'd be good with those. And then you may be able to get another corner in the draft. Remember, you got Mike Hilton from Kansas City. He's not a bad player. I think it's Mike Hilton. I forgot his name. But anyway, he was not a bad player either. So you got some corners there. It wouldn't surprise me if Okudah ends up in New England draft day. Wouldn't surprise me at all. It wouldn't surprise me if you go corner in the draft, but I don't see it at 32. I don't see it at 32. So Hutch and Smith, the Penn State edge rusher. That's not a bad combination at 2 and 32. That's really not. That's one guy I don't have in the first round, but I really like. I think a team can get him in the second round and really, really like this kid. Seriously, Hutch and Smith. I actually could see that. To be honest with you, I had Mafe ranked a little higher, and that was almost. I almost went with that. I almost went with Hutch and Mafe at 2 and 32, and just saying, oh man, and just saying, hey, look, front seven, watch out. And then at 34, you could go and you could go corner, you could go safety, you can do a lot of different things. You can go a lot of different things. Yeah, I'd take 80. Yeah, I seriously don't be surprised this happens, especially if the Lions want to move up for 32. I would okay. I really think that what will happen is I think Detroit will move down from 2, and I think they'll move up from 32. I think that there's somebody that they'll target, that they'll see, and they'll move up. It wouldn't surprise me. I could see Tampa Bay. I could see Kansas City wanting to trade down. Maybe Buffalo, maybe Tennessee. When I say trade up, I don't think they're going to trade up big. I don't see them going like into the teens, but I could see them moving up a few picks and getting somebody. I could easily see that. I could see them. I really think that they trade down from 2, trade up from 32. Detroit's going to be a very, very, very fun team in this year's draft. It's going to be a lot of fun. And the reason why is I expect a lot of movement. And then after the draft, I'll have the video out regarding draft grades, and I'll give you my opinion. Hoffa, all that money to Kirk, he's got to produce. I really liked Christian Kirk, but when I saw $84 million, I'm like, what the fuck? Seriously, what did DJ Chark get from Detroit. Wasn't it a 2-year, $12 million deal? It's got to work out. Got to work out. Igabite, Ingamari, Mafe, or Benito would look at opposite Romeo Canora and yeah. Actually, what about Okuda and 32 for 21? Let me see here. The 85th pick has 165. The trade chart would be 210. And 210 would be a 76. You know, seriously, if New England really likes this guy, then yeah. If New England likes the guy, then yes. Then yes. But you have to be sold on him if you're New England. You have to be sold on him if you're New England. If I'm Detroit, I would pull the trigger, and New England has to look at him as a day one starter. He would replace J.C. Jackson, of course, and it's possible. Yeah, and you know, if I'm Detroit, I would make that call. If I'm Detroit, I would be making that call, and the reason why is that you know, I don't know if he's really a guy you really want on your team. Nothing against Okuda, but I mean, you know, he wasn't drafted by you guys, and you guys drafted a couple corners that played well, so. You know, oh, this is a great one. Rock Howard says, if the Chiefs ever change their name because eventually the woke mob comes for you, what would a new name be? That's a good one. Just firing the first thing, Warriors. By the way, if you're not aware, how the Chiefs got their name was the mayor of Kansas City. His nickname was Chief. Big Chief. It was like the Big Chief, and that's how they got their name originally. It was the Dallas Texans, and the owner. It's actually funny. The Chiefs owner lives in Dallas and is worth about 3 to 5 times more than Jerry Jones. A lot of people don't know that. But Clark Hunt is worth about 3 to 5 times more than Jerry Jones, and lives in Dallas. A lot of people don't realize that. But yeah, it's probably coming, man. I'll be honest with you. It's probably coming. There's a billboard on one major highways advertising Banda Chop, Banda Tomahawk Chop. I you know what? I'm not going to tell that story, but I was at the game when they used to have bands play at halftime in Northwest Missouri. They're now called Truman State, I think. They started doing, they used to do the Tomahawk Chop. They didn't call it that. They just called it, you know, they had to chop, and they were in the end zone, and they did it, and they were in unison. They were like in perfect unison. It was, you know, all dress right dress. And then it's kind of funny because it was just a little square in one end zone and just started to spread throughout the stadium. And they were so popular, they brought them back the next week. And this was in the late 80s. And it brought him back the next week, and it just spread throughout the whole stadium. It was really cool to see. It was really cool to see. And then the next year, just every game, it was just out of control. And then by the way, you have to realize something. In the 80s, the Chiefs were really, really, really bad. Marty Schottenheimer came on board in 89, and so that's when the chop took off. Was in 89 when Marty took over. Then he inherited Christian Okoye, and he was like, I got a 260-pound running back who runs under a 4.5, and we're not giving him the ball 40 times a game. What the hell's wrong with you? And then he also brought in Derek Thomas in the first draft that he was there, and just everything just started to come together in the 90s. Really, really, really cool. Sorry, I ranted there. Josh Reynolds got 2 for 12. Chark got 10 for 1, and that could be as low as 4 because it's spread over 3. Okay. Still better than 84. really, really good signings by the Lions. Really, 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 really good signings by the Detroit Lions. Some really, really good moves. Really good moves. Casey. I'd say Warriors. You know what? I think I'm the only person in the world that likes Washington Commanders. I think it's pretty cool, man. I think it's pretty cool. Nobody else likes it. I like Commanders. Kansas City Admirals. I don't know. Can we use generals? Is that fair? No, I don't know. That's a great question, Rock, and I hope it doesn't come. But I hate the woke mob. I hate it. I hate it, and it's something I kind of don't want to rant on, but I can't stand it. Can't stand it. Right. I thought the price would rise for Chark and Robinson. Yeah. Chark, if he stays healthy, really, really good. Really, really, really good player. If he can stay healthy. Loved him out of LSU. My grandmother was 100% Cherokee Indian. She lived in Oklahoma, and the Washington Redskins were her favorite team. I met her when I was really young, but she had Redskins mem. You know what? Seriously, I remember an article came out in Sports Illustrated, and it was like 98% of Indians did not find the Redskins offensive. And then I remember I did taxes years and years ago, and the guy wasn't a big sports fan, but he said that he refused to call them he goes, it's the R word and it's the same as the N word. And I'm like, I don't think any Indian considers the Redskins the same as the N word. And he was adamant, and he was the teacher, and I had to pass the class. So I was like, I just kind of dropped it, but I'm like, I don't see that at all. But he was dead set on that. He considered it like one of the biggest insults. By the way, he was a white dude, just big fat white dude. Good guy, but I was like, where the hell did you get that from? Because I was all looking forward to talking football with him, and he wasn't a football fan, but he was like, that's the most racist term in the world. It's just as bad as the N word. I'm like, it's not anywhere near the N word, but he was very adamant about it, and I had to pass the class in order to get. You have to have a. I forget the name. Yeah. Anyway, you have to have an ID number. You have to have an ID number, and you need to pass. So I just dropped it. But I was like, yeah, real cool guy though. Real cool guy. I really liked him. But that was one thing we're different. Yeah. Chark bets on himself. And I love when players do this. It didn't work out for Baker Mayfield, but I do love it. The Washington. I like that here. Holmes deals multi-year Patriot players. I'm not sure. Small contract. I think it's a 1-year deal, isn't it? I don't mind. I don't mind it. 1-year deal. By the way, just signing Jared Davis doesn't exclude you from taking a running back. Or I'm sorry. Oh God. Yeah, I better end the show on that one. It doesn't exclude you from taking a linebacker. Quay Walker still in play at 32 or 34. I don't think Muma 34. I still think it's like kind of a low second, high third round pick, but seriously, Muma to Detroit at 66 would easily happen. Logan Wilson went, I think, 70th to the Bengals. I knew he was third round pick. So that's kind of where I got Muma going. So majority are 1-year deals. Like I said, I really think the Lions made some really good under the radar picks, but 6-7 wins, still kind of what I think. I think the Jags are big losers. What we'll find out. We'll find out. We will find out. So True One Pride. Love the players we signed in the con. Yeah, the really, really good moves. Not from somebody who's not a Lions fan. I don't have a dog in the fight, even though it looks like I'm wearing Lions colors here. I got gray, and then this is. I think this is almost Honolulu blue. I think this almost is Honolulu blue. But yeah, I didn't realize it till now. I'm wearing like Lions colors, but I'm not a Lions fan, but we talk a lot of Lions here. Lions fans are fantastic. I'm going to tell you this right now. Lions fans are easily better than Chiefs fans. No contest. No contest. If you're a Chiefs fan and you're offended, I'm telling you, I've been a Chiefs season ticket holder since '89, and I remember going to Arrowhead before Schottenheimer came here, 30,000 fans, and there was more than 30,000 people in going to Detroit games when they were winless. So I'm just telling you that right now. Facts are facts. So caution, read the cell first. I'll read it out loud. What's funny is you got woke people that say the Holocaust wasn't about race, yet they call Trump supporters Nazis as if they are racist. How's that? We got one of these days. I'm gonna start getting my right-wing opinions out there. It's funny. I talked to a buddy of mine, one of my best friends, and haven't heard from him for a while. But then he tried to blame something on Trump, and it's like that's not really true. But he's one of these guys. He's an anti-Trump guy, but he's also does whatever his wife tells him. He is not. He's like a puppy. Like his wife's always like, do this, and I go every time I go over there, and he asks me, he's like, you can always come over, but every time I go over there, his wife always yells at him, and I'm like, dude, she's yelling at you in front of me. I mean, it's kind of weird, but it happens all the time. Every time I've been over there the last 5 years, she yells at him, and I'm like, dude, she's yelling at you in front of your guy friends, and he didn't get it. He didn't get it. So, yeah. Maybe one of these days I'll start breaking down my political points of view, but I'm not an expert, but I am an expert on football. And when I break down my over-unders, you don't want to miss that. You don't want to miss my over-unders. I will make you money. So 100% of those contracts are phenomenal. Like bro, Chark could get a multi-year deal. And seriously, Chark has wide receiver number one potential, just always been banged up. I loved him coming out of LSU. Had injury problems at LSU also. But ran a 4.31, and he's 6'1". I think he's like 185 now. I think coming out of college, he was like in 1.7. I think he was 6'1", 179 coming out of LSU, but he ran a 4.31. Deep speed is exactly what the Lions need. If he's healthy, he could have a massive year. So what is funny is no one can name a single person by name that's been shot by a cop since the election, just saying either it's gone or they don't need a narrative or something. Dude, man, Funk, I read in comments like this, man, maybe I need to talk more politics on this channel. Maybe I need to do more than just talk football. Sounds like some of the things that I believe that you believe besides football. It's kind of weird this year. We've been agreeing on a lot of stuff this year. Isn't that weird? It's pretty weird. And now it looks like me and you have a lot of other things in common besides football. And we're both big Chiefs fans, both big time Chiefs fans too. So that's a great thing. But anyway, I love this comment, man. I'm gonna highlight it anyway. I'm gonna end on that note. Funk, man, great comment, man. Great stuff. I can't thank you enough for joining this show. I can't tell you how much when I do the show and I talk to you guys, I can't thank you enough. I love doing this. I highlight on my week. That's it. I'm going to end right now. Listen, give me a thumbs up if you haven't already. All my social media links should be below. If you can always email me. Notifications will show up on my phone. If you have a question, danshow@yahoo.com. Feel free to shoot me an email. I will get back to you. Give me about 24 hours. My website, www.danshow.net. I haven't updated my website with my mock draft. I didn't have a chance to do that yet. I'm still at what's the last pick? The last pick is 23, Arizona. I'll have it updated, and then I'm gonna try to have some more stuff. I've been a little behind on some things, but by the time next Friday shows come around, all my videos will be done. Mock draft Wednesday video. Mock draft live stream the 27th. I'll go live with my final mock draft. So Yeah. We've been. Anyway, hey, listen, everybody, have a great week. I'll see you all back next Friday.